What if time isn't what we think it is? What if the past isn't locked away forever and the future isn't waiting patiently ahead of us? What if ancient people, long before modern science, already believed that time could bend, break, or even be crossed? And here's the real question that should bother you. Why do stories of time travel appear in civilizations that had no contact with each other? No internet, no shared books, no global communication, yet the same ideas keep showing up again and again across thousands of years. Coincidence? Or something history never fully explained? Tonight, we're going deep. Not sci-fi Hollywood nonsense, not flashy movie plots. We're talking ancient myths, lost manuscripts, religious texts, and real historical theories that suggest people long ago believed time itself was flexible. So buckle up, because once you hear these stories, time will never feel the same again. Let's start with something simple. Modern science tells us time is linear, past, present, future. One direction, no U-turns. But ancient cultures didn't see it that way. To them, time was circular, layered, or even alive. In ancient India, time wasn't measured in years. It was measured in yugas, vast cosmic cycles lasting millions of years. According to Hindu texts, humanity has risen and fallen countless times. Civilizations destroyed, reborn, destroyed again. Ask yourself this: if time was purely linear, why would ancient thinkers imagine such massive repeating cycles? Because to them, time didn't just move forward, it looped. Now let's talk about one of the oldest written stories on Earth, the Epic of Gilgamesh. This isn't just a hero story. Hidden inside it is something strange. Gilgamesh goes on a journey seeking immortality, but along the way, he enters realms where time behaves differently. He meets beings who have lived far beyond normal human lifespan, places where days feel distorted. Sounds familiar, right? Almost like stepping outside normal time. Ancient Mesopotamians believed the gods existed in a realm beyond time, and sometimes humans crossed into it, temporarily. Now let's jump to ancient Greece. Plato, one of the smartest minds in history, said something wild. He claimed that time was created with the universe, and that before creation, time didn't exist, meaning time isn't eternal. If time had a beginning, could it have an end? Could it bend? Could it fold back on itself? Plato believed that advanced civilizations existed long before recorded history, civilizations wiped out by floods and disasters. Ever heard of Atlantis? Plato didn't present it as fantasy, he presented it as history, a civilization lost, erased, remembered only through stories. Now, here's the kicker. Some theorists believe Atlantis wasn't just technologically advanced, but that it understood time in ways we still don't. Crazy? Maybe. But why does this idea refuse to die? Let's talk about something that really messes with your head. The Mahabharata, an ancient Indian epic thousands of years old. In it, a king named Kakudmi visits the god Brahma. He stays for what feels like minutes. When he returns to Earth, thousands of years have passed. Everyone he knew is gone. Civilizations have changed. That's not metaphor. That's time dilation, something Einstein described thousands of years later. So here's the uncomfortable question. How did ancient storytellers imagine something so mathematically accurate without modern physics? Luck? Symbolism? Or ancient knowledge we no longer understand?
Now let's shift to religion. The Bible. People rarely talk about this, but there are verses that strongly suggest time distortion. In the book of Daniel, a vision describes events unfolding across centuries, seen all at once. In the book of Revelation, time collapses entirely, past, present, and future merging. And then there's this line, 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that is just gone by. That's not poetry, that's perspective. A being experiencing time differently than humans, almost like a higher dimension. Now let's head to medieval Europe. There's a strange legend from Ireland. A man enters a fairy mound, yes, a mound, spends a single night inside. When he comes out, hundreds of years have passed. His village is gone. His people are legends. Sound familiar? This story appears again and again across Celtic folklore, not once, not twice, over and over. Different locations, same theme. Short stay, long absence. That's not lazy storytelling. That's a pattern. Now let's talk about something historians hate discussing: chronological anomalies. There are cases where historical figures appear in places they shouldn't at times that don't make sense. Paintings showing modern-looking objects centuries before their invention. Manuscripts describing machines before technology existed. Now skeptics say coincidence, symbolism, or misinterpretation. But here's the thing. Why are there so many of them? Why does history keep glitching? Let's jump to China. Ancient Taoist texts describe immortals who could step outside time. They didn't age, they appeared and disappeared. They called it walking the path beyond time. Not teleportation, not magic, time. Now let's bring this closer to modern thinking. In the early 1900s, scientists realized something shocking. Time isn't constant. It slows down near massive objects. It speeds up depending on motion. Einstein proved mathematically what ancient myths described symbolically. Time is flexible. So here's the uncomfortable thought. What if ancient myths weren't fantasies, but attempts to describe experiences people didn't have language for? Now ask yourself this: if time travel were possible, would governments tell us? Or would it be classified, buried, erased? History is written by survivors and winners. What if some knowledge was considered too dangerous to survive? Let's talk about forbidden texts. The Vatican archives, ancient libraries destroyed, manuscripts burned. Why destroy knowledge? Because ideas are powerful. Time travel, real or theoretical, would shatter religion, politics, power itself. Who controls the past controls the present. Who controls the present controls the future. Sound familiar? Now here's where things get chilling. Some physicists today believe time travel might be possible, but only forward. Others believe backward travel could exist through closed time-like curves. Science is catching up to myth, not debunking it, catching up. So here's the final question. What if ancient people didn't invent time travel stories? What if they remembered them? What if time has been broken before? And what if it could be broken again? We like to think we're smarter than the ancients, more advanced, more rational, but every generation thinks that right before discovering it was wrong. Time may not be a straight road. It may be an ocean, and humanity may have already drifted through it once before. If you're still watching, ask yourself one thing tonight. Not, is time travel real? But, what if it already happened, and history just forgot?